Okay, we are on the last video for this lesson. And the last thing we need to do is look at how to use an equation to extend a pattern. So we're going to look at the same situation we looked at in the last example. But this time we're going to use an equation to answer what is the total number of tiles in a figure with 8 blue tiles. So we already talked about kind of seeing the pattern here and how that's growing. Now, what we want to do is we want to write an equation. So it'll be y equals, it always likes to automatically capitalize because it doesn't know I'm doing math, but we use lowercase y's, x, and then we'll have to do something with this x. So I can see when x is 1, whatever happens to this x should make it be equal to 9. So I need this equation to be true. In other words, what I need to be true is that 9 is my y. Ooh, move that a little bit. 9 is my y, and I need that to equal something with a 1. So x is going to be 1. So if we just leave the equation as y equals x, I think we can all agree that 9 does not equal 1. How could I make this true? Well, I'll give you one idea. I could go plus 8. So if my equation was x plus 8, then, hey, 1 plus 8 is 9. My equation is true. It works for this first row of the table. That doesn't mean it's going to work for every row of the table. Let's try it for the second row. In the second row, my y is 18 here, and my x is 2. Okay, that doesn't work. 2 plus 8 is not 18. So the equation y equals x plus 8, it almost worked, but then later on in the pattern, it didn't express my pattern anymore. So let's go back to 1. What's another way that I can get from 1 to 9 other than addition? Well, generally, I think that there are two ways to go up in equations. One of them is with addition, and the other one is with multiplication. So if I had 9x, so in other words, if I had 9 times 1, then, 9x, y equals 9x, 9 equals 9 times 1, that's true. Let's try it for 2. So if I put a 2 in for x, when x is 2, y is 18, so is my equation true for the next row of the table? 9 times 2 does equal 18. So we're looking pretty good. And for now, for the level of equations that we're doing for this first unit, if you got 2 of the points right, you can be pretty confident that you got the other points right, but I'm going to check a third. I'm going to go all the way down here to 5. So if x is 5, y should be 45. So this should also be a true equation. 45 equals 9 times 5. And if I go over to my calculator and I check, does 9 times 5 equal 45? And, oh, can you read it? It does. Okay, so I found an equation. This equation describes this relationship, and it matches the table, which also describes the relationship. So all three of these things are accurately connected. Last thing I need to do is use that to answer my question. So, in other words, I need to say when x is 8. So in blue tiles, that's our x is 8. We could also point out that x is our dependent variable, or x is our independent variable, and y is our dependent variable. And so the x the total number of tiles depends on how many blue tiles there are. So let's see. So y equals, capitalizing. Oh, it really likes to do that. All right. I'm going to force it to do it the right way. Lowercase y equals 9. And how many blue tiles do I want to know? I want to know 8 blue tiles. So y equals 9 times 8. 9 times 8 is, well, 9 times 8 is 72. Here's another way I could do this. Let's recall back to our distributive property. I could have done 9. Well, 8 is the same as 10 minus 2. And those are some things that I know. So this is just an optional way to solve it. That means 9 times 10 is 90, minus 9 times 2 is 18, and 90 minus 18 also equals 72. So that's a way I could use the distributive property in mental math to solve this problem. Either way, I find out that y equals, lowercase y equals 72. And that is my answer. What is the total number of tiles in a figure with 8 blue tiles? 72 total tiles, which I think, if I remember correctly, is the same thing that I got when I did my graph. So that's pretty good. I thought with the graph I might be off by 1, but it looks like I got lucky this time. All right. So next, you'll have a relationship with a cool little visual pattern. And your task will be to make a graph and write an equation in order to answer a question about that relationship. Good work, and I'll see you next time.